so let's continue with our tutorials, our walkthrough of the FreeCodeCamp curriculum. And yeah, so now we are doing the HTML forms, and so far we've done lessons or steps 1 all the way to 30. In this video, we're going to look at steps 31 up to step 40. So let's get started. All right, moving on to the final field set. Once again, this is what we are building. So we've written the markup for this. We've also done this. Now we are moving to the final field set, which is this one right here. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we want to do is to add an input. This input is going to have a type with a value of file. Okay, so with this, the user can choose a file on their PC. Okay, you can choose a file on their device and add to the form. All right, so we also want to add a label with the text. Okay, label with the text, upload a picture. Okay, upload a profile picture. All right, and next an input accepting a file upload. So let's nest this input. I'll cut it out into our label elements like so. Okay, all right. Now I want to add another label after the first with the text input your age. Then we want to nest an input to the type number. Okay, so we want to add another label. This label is going to have the text input your age like so. Input your age into brackets. Yes. Okay. All right, and within it we want to nest an input element, and this input element is going to have a type of number. Okay, this means it will only accept number and will not accept text. All right, next up we want to add a main attribute to the input with the value of 13. Okay, so that will mean if we add or our user add a number that is less than 13, it will be flagged as invalid. Also, we want to add a max of 120. The same here, if a user add a max or a value greater than 120, it will be flagged as invalid. All right. All right, next up, we want to add a drop down to the form. And the way we can do that is to use the select element. Okay, so the select element, this one right here, it's a sort of a container, okay, for a group of options that the drop down will contain. So within the select element, we want to add an option element. Option like so, and this option will sort of act as a label for the drop down. So as you can see here, there's the drop down. When you click it, you have these options. Okay, so that's what we are building. So start by adding a select element below the 2 label elements, and then next 5 options elements within the select element. So you have one option element here. I'll just copy and paste it. 5 times. So we have 5 options elements now. All right, on to the next one. Next, the select element with its options element within a label element with the text, how did you hear about us? So this is the select element with its option element. So we want to nest it within a label. So we have a label element like so. So we have an opening label tag here, and then I'll have the closing label tag after the select like so. So this is a closing tag. Let me correct it. Yeah, I want to add a text. How did you hear about us? Okay, so now as you can see, we have this options here, but it's because we don't have any text, that's why you cannot see it. Let's continue. All right, so now let's add the following text to the options elements which are currently empty. So for the first one, we'll say select one. So that will be like what shows up, or sort of the default. Then FreeCodeCamp news. By the way, FreeCodeCamp news is a really great website. So they have like articles, programming articles. Let me just show you quickly. FreeCodeCamp news. Yeah, so they have all these really good articles, so you should check it out, by the way. And also FreeCodeCamp has a YouTube channel that you should also check out, and there is a forum as well. If you are going through this FreeCodeCamp curriculum, you can also check out the forum where you can chat with other students and share ideas, bounce off ideas with them. All right, so our drop down menu is set. Let's get going. Okay, so something is wrong. You should give the first option element the text select one. Okay, so there's a capital S, it should be a small s. All right, now let's continue. Submitting the form with an option selected will not send a useful value to the server. As such, each option needs to be given a value attribute, without which the text content of the option will be submitted to the server. So we want to give the first option a value of an empty string, okay, which is denoted by quotation marks, and the subsequent option element value attribute from 1 to 4. So the way we do that is to say, once again, I'll just hold down option on Mac. If you're on Windows, you can hold down Alt and just type value. So this is the value attribute. So for the first one is going to be empty. The second one is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, now we need to add the text area element, and this also acts as an input element of type text. So this one right here, but comes with the added benefit of being able to receive multi-line inputs. Okay, users will be able to register with a bio. Okay, so this want to add a text area element inside the label element. Okay, so this is our label element, and inside it we want to add a text area element. Let's see, I'm not sure, but let's see, text area. Okay, note the text area requires a closing tag. Yeah, as you can see. You should add a label element at the end. Yeah, so let's see. I think this shouldn't be in here. Let's put this right here and add a text area element inside the label element. So let's have a label element. Let's have a closing label element like so. Now let's see if our code passes. Hint, you should give a label a text provide. Okay, so the label should have a text provide a bio. Okay, yeah, so that's one thing about the FreeCodeCamp curriculum. If you get something wrong, it sort of gives you a hint so that you can correct your mistakes. All right, now we pass this. So what we've done here is we've added a text area element. Now this text area element is similar to the text input, right? But it sort of just helps you to type things. Okay, so for this one, it's just a single line that you can type. But when you want to take something like a bio, which might be like multiple lines or even paragraphs, then what you use is a text area. Okay. All right, next up, link the applicable form elements and their label element together. So we want to use profile picture, age, referrer, and bio as the value for the respective IDs. So we'll start with this one here. We'll say 4. So the 4 will have a value of profile picture, and the input will have an ID which has a corresponding value, in this case profile picture. Okay, so for the age, we'll also have a 4 attribute with a value of age and an ID attribute with a value of age as well. Let's do the same for the referrer. A 4 of referrer and an ID attribute of referrer. Finally, let's do it for the bio. Label will have a 4 attributes of bio and an ID of bio. All right. The text area appears too small. Yes, it does. To give it an initial size, you can add the rows and column, the rows and cos, which represents columns, attribute. So add an initial size of 3 rows. So we'll do rows 3. Then we'll do cos, which represent column, of course, 30. All right, so now as you can see, it changes. So for example, can do 60 and then it's a really big one. So let's keep it at 30 for now. Okay, so finally in this video, let's give campus or our users an idea of what to put in their bio. So we want to place or want to have what is called a placeholder. As you can see here, the placeholder is I like coding on the beach, just sort of to give you some ideas of what is expected in this input. So the placeholder is also an attribute and it accepts a text value which is displayed until the user starts typing. Okay, so for example, if I should start typing here, this I like coding on the beach here will disappear. So let's see. I like coding in the mountains. All right, that's just by the way. So we go to our text area and we give it a placeholder attribute. So this is our text area. Let's give it a placeholder attribute, and the value is going to be I like coding on the beach dot dot dot. Okay, as you can see, when I start coding or when I start typing, the placeholder disappears. All right, let's move on. All right, so this is going to be step 40. So that's going to be the last step in this video. Once again, if you are enjoying these videos, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.